So, Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy Butler. He is a guy who is not happy with the Miami Heat. And I'll always say this, like, Jimmy Butler is a Heat legend. But, like, all he had to do was just request a trade. Just request a trade. And not start, like, not causing another Dwight Mayer. Not, like, shooting when you're on the floor, being like, you know what, I just don't really care anymore. Let me just start shooting random one-legged corner threes. Let me just stop trying. Like, we've never seen a player intentionally just start tanking games. Like, as obviously as Jimmy Butler is doing it. It's like, oh, if you don't want to trade me, I'm going to sabotage your team. But 3 trade scenarios are sent. 2 stars to Jimmy, best scenario involving, or 2 stars to Miami, best scenario involving Jimmy Butler. The reality is, if you can somehow get De'Aaron, that's the most important thing. Grizzlies be ideal trade partner for Butler. Meanwhile, the Pelicans are looking to move off Ingram. Could the Pelicans be the perfect third team in a deal? I've heard that Bradley Beal will only waive his no-trade clause for the Heat, the Nuggets, or the Lakers. So that means it could be very tough to work a 3-team deal unless the Heat want to take on the toxic contract of Jamal Murray. That trade's not going to happen. But let's see. Brandon Ingram was averaging, like, Ingram's not bad. He just doesn't play very much. Marcus Smart, I don't know, just not in the year of 2025. Grizzlies become contenders, the 3rd seed in the West. In fairness, yeah, I would take Desmond Bane. Actually, no, probably maybe can't retake Desmond Bane. You got Hero. Pelicans get an asset for a lost asset. So, what did the Pelicans get? Players like Brandon Clark, Luke Kennard. And to be fair, like, Luke Kennard and Bradley Beal got sent to the bench. So, it's a perfect situation for all 3 parties. I don't like this trade. I'm not going to lie. As a Heat fan, I don't like this trade. I don't think we need Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart's definitely not a star. Jimmy Butler has been the heart and soul of Miami for years. Michael Porter Jr. Seconds. Jimmy to the Nuggets. MPJ to the Bulls. And Zach LaVine to Miami. Jimmy Butler, like, if Jimmy Butler goes to the Nuggets, they're contenders. I don't think Pat Riley's going to do that, though. I think Pat Riley's going to be petty. I think Pat Riley's going to send Jimmy to somewhere he has no chance. I don't think he's going to do right by him. Like, I think he might have done right by him at one stage, but at the same time, Pat Riley does right by he does right by the team. That's all. That's all Pat Riley cares about. He doesn't care who you are. He does not give lifetime achievement award contracts. If you are, like, there's no, like, you know what, you were great when you were 28, so we're going to give you a contract at 32. It's like, nope. He's the only GM that will give contracts based on what players will do, not what they did in the past, which is still why I stand by Pat Riley. Is, you might be saying, oh, it's old school, like, you're never going to win a ring like that. Man, most teams are never going to win a ring ever anyway. But for the Bulls, acquiring MPJ, Duncan Robinson, and Zeke Nagy, I mean, in fairness, MPJ, Duncan Robinson, MPJ for LaVine and Vus. It's not bad. You'll probably have to give, someone will have to give Bulls a pick. I don't hate this trade. LaVine and Vucevic. It means if you're Miami, you can play Bam a bit more at the 4. LaVine, Hero. Maybe there's not enough defense there. Maybe there's just not enough defense. But like, yeah, like, it's I don't hate this trade from Miami. Compared to the last one, I don't mind it too much. But like, some of the trades where it's like, I don't think Pat Riley's going to do anything to give to basically give Jimmy a chance at a ring. I think he might send him to Phoenix, because I don't think Phoenix are going to win a ring with him. I really don't. Like people forget in the playoffs with Jimmy Butler, as good as he was one of the most high usage players in all the playoffs. And to be fair to him, he hit shots. But like, if you're not going to be a high usage player playing with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and at this point in time, Jimmy Butler's not the defender he was in Chicago. So yeah, it is. It's going to be an interesting one. Like, I just don't want to send him to Denver. I like Denver. I love to see Jokic win another ring, but just no. You don't get to throw a hissy fit, try to burn everything down on your way out and get your way 3 times in a row. Like, it just doesn't. It shouldn't work like that. It should not work like that. But yeah, that is. Look, that's at the end of the day, that's what is probably going to happen to Jimmy. But I still don't see Jimmy going to a contender. I think he might go to a bubble contender, as in a team like the Golden State Warriors, where he might turn them from a play-in team to a playoff team. But then they have to give up Kuminga and Wiggins, which I would do in a heartbeat if I'm Jimmy Butler. Jonathan Kuminga is the most overrated player I think I've ever seen in the NBA. Like, I don't get it. The guy is athletic. He's not a very good shooter. He's not a very high IQ player. He doesn't fit with the Warriors. Like, I think you put him on a really bad team and, you put him on a bad team and he gets a whole bunch of big points. Like, he'll score a lot on a really bad team, but I think that's the kind of ceiling for Jonathan Kuminga, if we're being honest. Didn't do very much for that 2020, the 2022 Warriors team. To be fair, he was all right up to the finals. Didn't play much in the finals. But yeah, Jimmy Butler, Jimmy freaking buckets. I'm sorry, like, you just can't give him what he wants. You just can't, and I'll stand by that. Like, teams can't give Jimmy buckets what he wants. Again, like, it's just annoying to see it. And like, look, he's a Miami Heat legend. I'll give him that. Like, he's one of the greatest players in the history of the Miami Heat. But still, you're like, should he really be getting rewarded with, going to a contender? Because I think if Miami, a lot of people are like, oh, teams aren't going to give up much for Jimmy Butler, but it's like, well, if you're not going to get anything anyway from him, send him to the freaking Hornets. Send him to the Sixers. Send him to the Sixers. Get every single one of their picks that they have that they can possibly trade you. Get Yabusele, and you obviously aren't taking the Paul George contract. If there's any way of going to the Sixers without taking on PG's contract, go send him there. Sixers aren't going to win anything. They're currently worse than the Bulls. Send him to Chicago for all I care. Send him to one of those teams where it's like, oh, you know what? Maybe we could get in the 6th seed, and we've sucked for so long that maybe we'll be happy with the 6th seed. Send him to the Pacers. Send him to the Pistons. Send him to literally anyone. Literally anyone. He's probably not going to re-sign wherever. Get whatever assets you can and make sure as hell Jimmy Butler doesn't win a ring. I think that's what Pat Riley's goal is going to be. But anyway, yeah. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.